When Exodus was first revealed, it instantly stood out, not because it was just another RPG, but because of who is making it and how ambitious it looks. Built by a team of former BioWare veterans, including people behind Mass Effect, Star Wars titles, and other narrative giants, this game is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious sci-fi RPGs in years. Today we'll break down everything we know so far. Setting, gameplay style, narrative focus. What makes it different? Why the hype is real? What makes Exodus exciting right away is who is developing it. This isn't a random indie studio. It's Archetype Entertainment, founded by former BioWare leads with experience on beloved titles like Mass Effect and Dragon Age. That pedigree tells us the focus here is not just combat or visuals, but story, choices, and world building, components that made RPG classics memorable. What makes Exodus exciting right away is who is developing it. This isn't a random indie studio. It's Archetype Entertainment, founded by former BioWare leads with experience on beloved titles like Mass Effect and Dragon Age. That pedigree tells us the focus here is not just combat or visuals, but story, choices, and world building, components that made RPG classics memorable. While Exodus hasn't fully revealed all of its systems yet, early community gameplay leaks and trailer breakdowns give us a peek at what it might play like. Players control a character named June Aslan, a salvager-turned-traveler thrust into the war against mysterious forces known as Celestials. Combat in these early highlights blends tactical positioning, companion interaction, sci-fi weaponry, enemy encounters that feel deliberate rather than random skirmishes. This suggests Exodus leans toward action RPG combat with strategy elements, similar to Mass Effect, but with its own pacing and world design. One of the biggest selling points for Exodus is its narrative ambition. It features renowned voice talents such as Matthew McConaughey, who brings gravitas and cinematic presence to the world. And the story isn't just surface-level sci-fi. Choices may influence factions. Time and consequence could be central motifs. Character relationships and moral stakes are emphasized. This narrative depth is what sets AAA RPGs apart, and Exodus appears to be aiming toward that tier. Let's get this straight. Exodus isn't a survival game with harsh environments and co-op raids. At least not based on current confirmed info. Instead, it's positioning itself as a next-level RPG experience that combines strong narrative, deep world building, and strategic action. Games with ambitious lore and emotional stakes are rare, and Exodus has the pedigree to deliver something special. While the game was initially expected in 2026, development has been confirmed to push the release to early 2027. Before launch, expect more gameplay reveals, combat showcases, and story snippets, especially through events like summer showcases and the Game Awards. So is Exodus a survival game? No, at least not in the traditional survival genre sense.
No pressure there.
But what it is shaping up to be is one of the most intriguing sci-fi RPGs in recent memory.
Preparing to transfer now.
Story-driven,
This
action-focused,
is your last chance to bail.
packed with narrative potential, backed by experienced developers. And with each new reveal, the hype only grows. So is Exodus a survival game? No, at least not in the traditional survival genre sense. But what it is shaping up to be is one of the most intriguing sci-fi RPGs in recent memory. Story-driven, action-focused, packed with narrative potential, backed by experienced developers. And with each new reveal, the hype only grows. So what are you most excited to see from Exodus? The world design, the combat, or the story? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. Enjoy the video.
I see a lot of potential in this new partnership.
Let me light the way for you.
Target acquired. again for your help. You should have been honest.
This place is forbidden. The price is death.
That's what it means to be a traveler.
She was not only brilliant, but courageous. To save her planet, she was willing to sacrifice everything and travel to the stars. As a frontier world, we were barely hanging on. Desperate, we tried digging up our past to find the key to our future.
Max, we need to head back. There's too much interference.
Hold on. I'm getting a reading. I can't...
Max!
No! Wait!
Max! Max!
I'm all right.
What she found that day was a miracle. It would be our salvation. And she used that ship to explore the far-flung corners of the galaxy. A traveler on the hunt for celestial treasure.
Careful, Max.
The data structure is incredibly dense. This is it. Tom! Stay down!
She put her life on the line to bring back artifacts to put us on the path to scientific breakthroughs. She risked everything, time and again. But despite her bravery, eventually her luck would run out. Lucky for us, she made it home safely. While she was alive, she was too humble to speak of her adventures. But at least we, her descendants, can honor her memory. Thank you all for visiting the museum today, and safe travels tomorrow. Hey, that's off limits.
She was always charging headfirst into the darkness. I was always one step behind, looking for the light switch. The Celestials hunted us down. I knew they'd keep chasing us until they ripped our ship apart.
Come on!
And I had to save her. So, I led them away from this world, away from her. We both knew the cost of using the gates. When you travel at light speed, time slows to a crawl. It was only days for me, but an entire lifetime passed for her. And in the chaos of those final moments, we never said goodbye.
No! Come with me! Wait! Please! Tom! I love you.
centuries in the future, Leiden is a world where daemons, humans bonded with silicate eggs, are a common, albeit marginalized, presence. Initial waves of voluntary infections created a class of people with superhuman abilities, but distinct appearances that led to widespread social unease. Governed by fear, the city-states of Persepolis and Lyonesse enacted stringent laws against the creation of new daemons, placing existing ones under strict surveillance and restriction. This oppression drove many daemons to the fringes of society, with some choosing the path of outcasts and others fleeing cities to escape discrimination. The clandestine trade of silicate eggs further complicated matters, giving rise to a dangerous underworld of unregistered daemons. The burgeoning daemon population eventually attracted the attention of the Crown Dominion, which perceived them as a burgeoning threat. In response, the Dominion dispatched Idinkasi, ruthless changeling overseers, to hunt and eliminate daemons. These Idinkasi, operating with or without the cooperation of Leiden's authorities, pursued their quarry relentlessly. What do you get when the last human sleeper, a cataphract pilot, discovers consumption armor? Widespread adoption of cataphracts transformed the military and cultural landscape of Leiden, leading to dynastic warfare at a scale unseen since the European Middle Ages. Cataphract pilots, those rare individuals who combine the acumen of engineers with the valor of knights, became the centerpiece of this power struggle. These pilots, known for their unique connections to customized mechs, were not just warriors, they were celebrities. Their battles broadcasted to millions. The allegiances and rivalries of their traveler dynasties, the subject of daily discussion. However, this glorification of military might and the personal fame of the cataphract pilots militarized society. Power became measured in the strength and number of mech armies, constant skirmishes, wars for dominance. Ours became a culture inseparable from violence, where the line between heroism and warmongering became terribly blurred. Do you know what fear is? The Mariama do. They thrive on it. These monstrous celestials haunt the darkest corners of the cluster, hunting for isolated targets. And, unfortunately for their victims, the Mariama are interested in more than just stealing cargo. They want minds, memories, emotions. The more twisted and tortured, the better. Captured prey will be subjected to intense psychological torment before being neurologically drained. Those rare few who the Mariama allowed to survive and escape often never return to space, for they know too well the terror that lurks out there, in the dark, between the stars. I am CZ Orlev. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Colonel says the future of humanity lies somewhere among the stars. He says nothing is as important as finding new planets to call home. And I believe him. Alien worlds found to be habitable are the new frontier for humanity. As the ancestors once said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But most are uninhabitable, or worse, deadly. Their atmospheres and ecologies more trouble than they're worth. Others, perhaps viable in theory, prove nothing more than desolate, hopeless wastelands. Some are even hostile. In fact, it often goes that the more beautiful the planet, the more sinister the threats it holds. The few that show fertile promise are made ready for terraforming, and their locations transmitted to the rest of the fleet. Since contact with the other arcs has gone cold, the Colonel insists the Hammercross set up a station here, on Emerald. He couldn't have known the planet would be toxic. Could he?
When our ancestors first domesticated animals, they had very specific purposes in mind as food sources, labor animals, or doting companions. But as our society faces the reality of a dying Earth, the role of domestic animals in our lives could be so much more. Meet Charlotte, the first of her kind, an awakened domestic pig. With our revolutionary biotech, she is an example of how we might unlock the cognitive potential of our animal companions and enhance their natural abilities. Charlotte may be the first of her kind, but she won't be the last.
universe if they had the power. The monsters they create are testament to that. We call them Coven, the abhorrent slave soldiers of the Mariyama Celestials. A cruel blend of changeling creature and augmented machine parts. Things living in pain and living to cause it. The frightening ones are the smart ones. Things that think almost like people. Maybe think better. Things that will hunt you down like vengeful gods. Difficult to outsmart. Impossible to reason with. It's the traveler trade to cross with evil. But in this darkening cluster of stars, the Coven remain the last thing you want to encounter. Short of the Mariyama themselves. I'm C.C. Orlev. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. As we all know, the Awakened have a long, proud history of contribution to our home world. But how familiar are you really with the origins of your Awakened neighbors? Take the Awakened bears. Because of their resilient physiology, their ancestors were charged with bringing medical care to early human colonies living in the most remote and hostile of environments of the cluster. A noble beginning for a species that today can be found too often working as mere military muscle. From life-saving medic to deadly soldier. Do we call that progress? Celestials are not big on compassion. One look at the Archivir will tell you that much. These hardy changelings were designed to survive the extreme. Acid, radiation, even hard vacuum. Their unique biochemistry allows them to adapt to almost anything the universe might throw their way. That doesn't mean that they enjoy it. But their celestial creators don't care much about their pain. Archivir are a disposable workforce, dropped off on dead worlds to mine resources and then left behind when the work is done. Some survive, build up communities under hell-like conditions. Of course, their origins leave most of these groups mighty suspicious of outsiders. So approach with caution. There was a myth back on Earth. Two ravens sitting upon the shoulders of a god, feeding him information about the worlds below. No secret safe from their all-seeing eyes. Awakened ravens were engineered to be problem solvers, keen curiosity and remarkable memories. But when their Ark ship stopped on the wrong planet, that memory became a curse. They can't forget what went wrong. Not even all these generations later. Ravens are problem solvers, and people, left to their own devices, cause problems. They need a guiding hand, an all-knowing guardian, uncovering secrets, pushing things in the right direction. Yes, the ravens are watching us. I'm C.C. Orlev.